up, people? How y'all doing tonight? All right, that's what I like to hear. Well, my name's Finnegan, and tonight I'm going to get into some comedy for you guys about rock bands. You guys up for that? All right, awesome. Well, first off, I'd like to say I'm a huge fan of a lot of classic rock bands from the 20th century. I love a lot of music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and so much more. One of my favorite bands of all time is the Beatles. Are any Beatles fans in the house? Yeah, the Beatles are fucking awesome. Another band I really like is Pink Floyd. Who likes Pink Floyd? Yeah, Pink Floyd's fucking awesome. I listen to a lot of music from their Dark Side of the Moon album, and another band I really like is The Doors. And have you ever heard of The Doors? Yeah, The Doors are fucking awesome too. So, anyway, yeah, those are the rock bands. There are so many other fucking awesome rock bands out there, and I give all those rock bands credit for being popular. So, let me tell you guys a story about a time when, I was part of a rock band. I was trying to start a band, but unfortunately things didn't go so well in the band. I got kicked out of the band because I was too drunk that night. So, what happened later was, I was living with a few roommates, two roommates. I was living with a guy named Ned Schneebly and his girlfriend Patty, and I lost my job being in a band. I had to pay my rent, so I was desperate to find a way to make money to pay my rent. So, I got a call once. I was at home. I got a call from the principal of an elementary school. She's like, "Hello, is this Mr. Schneebly?" I'm like, "No, he's not home right now." And so she told me what she was calling about and everything. And I asked, she was looking to find a substitute teacher. So what I did was, I asked, how long the gig is and what they pay and everything. And she told me everything. So then, I impersonated my roommate Ned Schneebly and was like, "Hello, this is Ned Schneebly." And then, I just started, working in the school. I was substituting. I was working with an elementary class. At first I didn't know what to do with the class right away, but then when I heard my students in music class, I'm like, holy shit, these guys know how to play. And then when the kids came back to class, I brought all my rock instruments into the class, including the electric guitar, the electric bass, and drum set, and so many other instruments. And the students wondered what was going on, and I was trying to show some of my students how to play those instruments, and they were excited about it since I know they like music. So there was one student who was in my class and I was showing her how to play the electric bass. I asked, "Hey, what was that thing you were playing in class?" And you were playing the cello, right? And so here's the joker, guys. So you guys want to know the difference between a cello and a bass? Well, it's the exact same thing. I told my students this too. A cello and the bass are the exact same thing. But instead of playing it like up and down, where you use a strip for the string in an orchestra, all you got to do is just tip it on the side. Cello, you got a bass. So my class and I, we were doing the Battle of the Bands, and we were trying to compete in the Battle of the Bands. And I told my students, we need to make a promise. If anyone finds out what we're doing, we'll be disqualified. So I was starting the Battle of the Bands, and I didn't even want the principal or those students' parents to know what we were doing. And then there was parents' night later on, and unfortunately, my roommate got a paycheck. Ned Schneebly. I'm like, this is weird. I never worked at this school. And then I told him what I did and everything, and then he called the cops. And that night, when I was at parents' night, the police came, and my roommate Ned Schneebly came with his girlfriend Patty, and they were pissed off that I impersonated him. And so then, what I did, I just left, and then the next morning, all of the parents of the students were complaining about why the principal hired some random person off the street. But then the students wanted to keep the show going. As we all know, the show must go on, so we did the rock band. We were playing in the band, and we had a good time. And even one of my students wrote a song about how rock got no reason and rock got no rhyme. So we did that. We rocked the night away, and even though we didn't win the competition, we still made the best out of it, and the audience even wanted an encore song. So we did that, and then after that, and the students were good enough that they even wanted me to start an after-school program for them. So it all worked out perfectly that I could start a new band with my students. So that's pretty much the story of how I started the School of Rock Band. So thanks for watching tonight. Oh,